One sentence ends disrespect immediately. No shouting, no explaining, no performing strength. Just one line and the dynamic shifts. Most people don't understand disrespect. It's not just rudeness, it's about access. Access to your attention, emotional labor, need to be understood. The moment you explain yourself, you hand over that access. That's why disrespect repeats. Your reaction teaches them the rules. It starts small, a joke that stings, cutting tone, public jab, tightness in your throat, heat behind your eyes. Most people do what the other person wants. Rush to defend, clarify, prove they're reasonable, and train the pattern. But there's a calm line that ends it, removes the one thing disrespect needs: your availability. I'm giving you the exact sentence, why it works so fast, why it feels final, why saying more undoes everything. Before we continue, this is where most people quit. If you're still here, you're different. Subscribe to this channel, not for motivation, but for mental tools you can actually use. In a world of noise, we offer direction. In a world of distraction, we build discipline. Hit that subscribe button now. Let's continue. First principle: why disrespect keeps coming back. It's comforting to believe disrespect comes from bad people, because if it's them, you don't examine your role in the pattern. Most disrespect is conditioned. People test first. Drop something small and watch. A dig, dismissive laugh, question making you look small. Then study your response. Do you smile to keep peace, over-explain, laugh along though it wasn't funny, rush to prove you're not offended? To them, that's data. What works gets repeated. If a jab costs nothing, it becomes habit. If a boundary blurs, it gets crossed again. If you absorb discomfort to protect the mood, you become where discomfort gets dumped. The person doesn't need to hate you. They only need to learn you'll tolerate it. Disrespect follows access. Access to reactions, your need to fix moments, emotional energy. If they push and you absorb, they keep pushing. Real question isn't how do I make them respect me? It's what kind of access have I been giving away? Second principle: the three traps. Disrespect happens fast. Body reacts before mind can form clean response. Trap 1, arguing. Feels strong, but it's pursuit. Chasing logic, trying to be understood. Moment you chase, you've given away the frame. Trap 2, joking it off. Laughing when uncomfortable isn't elegance. It's a cover. They learn you'll take it. Trap 3, freezing. Silence from fear is loud. Posture changes, eyes shift, energy collapses. Fear is readable. Fastest reaction sets tone of entire interaction. React instantly, you validate the moment. Person who controls pace controls interaction. Biggest mistake isn't speaking up, it's speaking too fast. High-status behavior is measured, minimal, deliberate. Delay signals choice. Choice signals power. Rushed response is emotional. Measured response is intentional. Disrespect can't negotiate with intention like it negotiates with emotion. Third principle: Stoic logic of calm power. Stoics understood you don't control what happens, but you control what gets access. Marcus Aurelius wrote about guarding the mind by choosing what deserves entry. Epictetus was direct. Some things are up to you, some aren't. Your response is yours. Their behavior isn't. That's power. When someone disrespects you, they expect movement, reaction, you changing shape around their behavior. Calm disrupts that expectation. Calm signals certainty. Certainty signals authority. Authority doesn't rush, compete, or plead. Deeply uncomfortable for someone depending on getting reaction. If you flare up, they gain leverage. If you fold inward, they gain leverage. But if nothing shifts, no emotional leak, they lose the handle. This is frame control. Silence with intention creates pause that feels heavy. Humans hate vacuum, rush to fill it. That's why calm pause shifts room more than loud comeback. Sometimes you want one clean sentence-locking boundary in place, because finality is what disrespectful behavior can't stand. Fourth principle, the one sentence. Here it is. Say it once calmly, then stop. That's not how you speak to me. No extra lines, insults, lecture because. No explanation, no threat. That's not how you speak to me. Every part is engineered. Let's not place his issue outside you. Not about feelings being hurt. About a standard that exists, whether they acknowledge it. How you speak to me targets behavior, not person. Not calling them rude, not escalating. Simply naming the line. Hard for them to argue. If they argue, they expose themselves. If they mock, they reveal who they are. Delivery matters more than volume. Say it slowly. Neutral face, relaxed shoulders, no smile, anger, or apology. Timing matters. Say it immediately after disrespect. Immediate boundaries train faster. Most important part, what happens next. You stop talking. Second you explain, you turn clean boundary into discussion. You don't need them to agree. You need boundary to exist. Say it once. Let silence force reality to show itself. Next few seconds feel uncomfortable. Nervous system begs you to repair moment. Don't. Fifth principle. What happens after? Expect predictable reactions. First, shock. They weren't expecting calm resistance. Then retreat disguised as joke. I was kidding. Or reversal. You're too sensitive. That's a test. Checking if they still have access to old version of you. Sometimes they'll smirk, change subject, get quiet. That quiet is important. Awkward silence after boundary doesn't mean you did wrong. Means old pattern broke and system is recalibrating. You might feel guilty. Mind producing reasons to soften it. That impulse is people-pleasing, and people-pleasing trained the disrespect. Let awkwardness exist. Let them sit with consequence of their tone. Seneca warned about becoming servant to opinions of others. Fastest way is rushing to repair tension you didn't create. You didn't create disrespect. You created boundary. Boundaries feel cold to people benefiting from your warmth. Sometimes their tone softens after. They correct themselves, back off. Sometimes they keep distance. If they distance because you set basic standard, that's not loss. That's alignment. You're not keeping everyone close. You're deciding who gets access. Sixth principle. When saying nothing is stronger, not every moment deserves that sentence. Some people disrespect to provoke. They want reaction, emotional content, engagement. Words feed the game. That's when silence is better weapon. Chosen silence. Don't glare, sigh, roll eyes. Simply remove participation. No explanation, no emotional leak. Continue as if bait didn't exist. Confuses provocateurs because there's nothing to push against. Boundaries are for patterns. Disengagement is for noise. If someone crosses line once, state boundary. If they repeat after you've been clear, next message is distance. Repeating sentence too often turns strength into performance. You don't perform standards. You live them. Use sentence when you feel invaded, when line is real. Use silence when moment is bait. Either way, same goal. Control access. Because respect was never about being liked, it was about being clear. You don't gain power by explaining yourself better. You gain power by deciding what you accept. When you stop reacting, you start choosing. Choosing your tone, your pace, your standards. And that changes everything. Conversations slow down. People adjust. Some people disappear. Others show up differently. The world starts treating you the way your boundaries train it to treat you. So remember the line. That's not how you speak to me. Say it once. Mean it. Then let your silence prove you weren't negotiating. At Silent Forge, we don't teach you to speak louder. We teach you to forge boundaries that don't need defense. Subscribe now and continue building the mental tools for calm authority. Tell me in the comments, where will you use this sentence first? Work, family, or friends? I'll read every response. Because this isn't about learning philosophy. It's about forging yourself into someone who decides what they accept. Stay strong. Stay silent when silence serves you, and speak with precision when words are required. That's how you command respect without demanding it.